of the Only for the Strong podcast. My name is Campbell Younger, and today's guest is the founder and director of BUMPR, New Zealand's latest digital connection tool for businesses, Hayden Mattock. How's it going, mate?
Great, Cam. Thanks for having me on.
Cool. So firstly, bro, I'd just like you to dive into essentially what BUMPR is and how it came about and what you did beforehand that kind of led you to there.
Yeah, so BUMPR is pretty much a replacement for paper business cards. So there's quite a few flaws with paper business cards I've seen. So I thought, why don't we bring that kind of thing, paper business cards into the digital age? So that's kind of what BUMPR is. So BUMPR is an easy way to share your social media, your digital channels, or your contact details with someone else that might be interested in your business. So a bit of a social networking tool of sorts for businesses. Yeah.
So how did you end up, I guess, starting BUMPR? Like, what did you do beforehand, before you started your own business?
Yeah. So I used to work for a not-for-profit organization in Stratford. And while I was working there, I developed and created a gym for a number of years there. And I was running that for, I think, maybe like 5 odd years. And then things just started getting a bit stale. I was getting a bit bored myself, so decided to leave and go do something for myself fully that I would own and be fully in control of. So BUMPR is, yeah, it's kind of a few things that I've a bit of history there. Is like BUMPR is actually a pivot on something else I was planning on doing. So I wanted
Right.
to make um, gym equipment like a barbell
Mm.
smart.
Yeah, yeah.
So but I wanted to use NFC technology on something dumb like a barbell, and people could tap to it, bring up like videos of all the exercises you could do with a piece of equipment. And if that wasn't enough, there would be like a ways to, on the gym floor, you could immediately hire a personal trainer or that kind of thing. But I saw a few issues in NFC. At the moment, it's new technology and there's not a lot of adoption of it. People don't really know or understand what it is. So
Right.
I saw a bit of a problem there, having a piece of equipment and no one really knowing how to use NFC. So I thought, how could I get people to adopt it a lot better and kind of have someone there with you to tell you how to use it?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
that's when I thought, business cards, normally there's a social interaction there. And I'm sure there's a way that businesses could use NFC a lot to make that procedure of sharing details and getting online to your social media channels a lot
Yeah,
easier with
for sure.
NFC. So that's kind of how BUMPR came about. But the two interests there, I had the fitness interests, and I really love business. So have them together, and then eventually the fitness thing went away, and now
Yeah.
it's just stuck
So you
on what it is now.
essentially ended up leaving your role you're employed in to start
Yeah,
a business that you quickly realized wasn't exactly going to be the go, but it ended up
yeah.
segueing into something else, probably a bit better.
Yeah, it's something I definitely want to do down the line once adoption of this technology is a bit
Mm.
better. Kiwis, New Zealand, we're actually quite slow adopters of certain things.
Yeah,
So
for
hopefully
sure.
down the line, a couple of years, maybe it's something I do look at again.
Yeah.
But this is a great testing phase, having a product that businesses can use.
Mm.
Yeah.
Awesome. So to give us a little bit more context, and for anyone who's watching, a bit more of a visual context around what BUMPR is, are you able to just even share your screen and run us through your homepage of your website?
Yeah, so I'll just do a quick little an example actually, and then we can share
Cool.
the screen. So BUMPR is a small little device you have on your phone, and what you do is you're in a conversation with someone,
Mm.
you start talking about your business, maybe they're interested, maybe you want to share your social media channels or your website or your contact details. All you do is you take your phone or the other person's phone, this is your phone, and you just tap it, and with NFC, it will load up uh, a digital business card of sorts. So
Awesome.
it's a mobile landing page. You put all your info in. It could be videos, it could be links to your website, to your booking information, or your social media, all that kind of thing. And right there on the spot, you can get someone to immediately engage with your information instead of what generally happens is you give someone a business card.
Mm.
Apparently, it's 90% of business cards is thrown out within a week. And are those people actually actioning like the information given to them? Are they going to give you a call? Are they going to your website? Are they going to your social media to become a follower? But with this, you can make it instant and they can do that immediately. So that's one of the
Mm.
benefits of BUMPR. But yeah, I'll pull up the website real quick. Where we got? Cool. So there's the homepage there. So yeah, it's just about instantly sharing anything you want with people. Could be your booking form, could be a great marketing video that could explain your business better or get people to sign up for an email, that kind of thing. So it's pretty cool, but it's also pretty new. So there's a lot of legwork to get people understanding how it works and all that kind of thing.
For
Yeah.
sure. So the one thing that I've experienced myself with business cards is obviously half the process is ordering the business cards, where you get them from, designing them. A lot of
Yeah.
times we order them from overseas places like Vistaprint because they're cheaper, but they end up rocking up, and then the image you've attached to it's low quality, and it's all a bit of a shit show. So what is the process of creating, I guess, the platform or your wall that people go to? Like, how does someone, if they join BUMPR, create their, I guess, timeline or wall or their landing
Oh, like
page?
their page.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's rather easy. I think a lot of people underestimate their ability with technology.
Mm.
They think it's going to be like building a website, it's going to be hold this code, that kind of thing. But really, I've got it set up so you pick your colors, you put in your URLs or your links to your social media, that kind of thing. And it's literally just you design the page as you like. It's really easy. It's a drag and drop feature as well. You can rearrange content. It's super simple.
Mm.
But yeah, it's definitely people think that they can't do it, so they
Mm.
don't try. But if you can build a Facebook page, you can do this. It's super
So
simple. Yeah,
someone could essentially add a link from like their YouTube channel, their Instagram,
yeah,
content just from a bunch of different platforms and have it all presented on, I guess, one landing page.
yeah. It's kind of like a link tree, like a link in bio in
No,
Instagram,
yeah,
but
okay,
it's more for in person. So
yeah, for
you
sure.
would curate this page to be what you think a potential customer or someone you've just met would
Mm.
probably actually want to see and learn about your business. Or if you're in real estate, it's you have your current listings, that kind of thing, or
Yeah,
a little video about you, how you can help, or getting appraisals, that kind of thing. Yeah, so it's kind of an empty page to start with, and you can fill it out however you like. That's what I think is really cool about it. Instead
yeah.
of having set templates and just having contact details or just having social media links available. So it's a yeah,
Mm.
you make it fit to your business and your situation pretty much. Yeah,
Because you're obviously bridging the gap between like old school in-person marketing and like social media technology like social media marketing in a way, aren't you? Because you've tackled
mm.
basically an in-person aspect of marketing and
Yeah,
linked it with a whole landing page of just social media content platforms, links, etc., which is
yeah.
quite cool.
Yeah, so you're trying to get your so if you think of these as a connection that and you're trying to now make them a lead, so you want them to now see your social media so they can continue seeing what you do, how great you are,
Mm.
or reviews and that kind of thing. Yeah, it's real important. I think people live on their phone, so
Yeah.
to get people to easily get to your stuff in a super simple way as well, instead of having to search for you or try and put in your username and your username some really awkwardly spelt
Yeah,
spelt
yeah,
thing, or
yeah.
like they put in your cell phone number and it's wrong. And if you could just simplify that all and have all the correct details all in one place, then
Mm.
yeah, businesses should be able to get better connections, really. Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. So if you can just jump out of that screen
Yeah,
share.
no worries. There we
Cool.
go.
So the next thing I just wanted you to touch on is what specific things have you focused on with Bumper to ensure all your clientele receives great value for money from your product?
Yeah, so Spub is like a one-off cost. You buy
Mm,
one, and then we also have a free plan and a pro plan. So I wanted there to be quite a lot of features on the free plan. So
mm,
there's a lot of functionality there, so people don't have to go and pay for a pro plan and be paying every month to use it. But for the ones that really will get the most out of it, there is that option for
yeah.
extra features, extra customizations. And being a startup, you have a very small customer base to start
Mm,
with, and then just trying to get people to figure out how to use the technology and that kind of thing.
mm,
So I've been staying in contact with quite a few people,
mm,
making sure everything's working out. But with the current lockdowns around the country, people aren't really getting out and about, socializing, or there's no real network events in person. So yeah, it's a bit slow at the moment, but yeah, just focusing on trying to help as many people as possible who are looking at the product or have bought it, that kind of thing, just to get started,
mm.
get using it properly. Yeah. Mm.
Cool. Just one thing that's come to mind with you and your branding that sort of relates back to value is I noticed even with Bumper, I think the color scheme's very cool. There's a clear theme there. It's very
Mm.
consistent across all your content. Your content's high quality, and I feel like that showcases a lot of value in what you're doing. But do you put like a particular emphasis on making sure themes are consistent, like making high quality content, or are you just sort of winging it?
It's a bit of half and half. Sometimes it's, yeah, you definitely got to make sure that your color scheme and your branding's
Mm,
it's there. Like even when it comes to your stories or your posts, like if someone's scrolling you on it and they haven't quite seen what you're posting, but they might see the color scheme and stop, pay
mm,
attention, that kind of thing. It also comes to like the fonts you use in stories. You want to try and stick to something very similar all the time.
mm.
Don't want to be mixing it up, having like a typewriter sort of font one day and then another. Yeah, it's kind of consistency really helps. I think it's the same with anything. I mean, you think training, it's consistency, and posting on social media, it's all
Mm,
consistency. You get so yeah, definitely consistent branding. It helps.
yeah,
Yeah. Mm.
awesome. So, what have been the biggest hurdles as a startup business in the digital marketing realm for you?
Um, I would probably say a different answer if I had launched this earlier, but
Yeah,
at the moment I launched just prior to lockdowns. So lockdowns is the biggest hurdle
yeah,
so far. Um, so because it's digital, my product is digital related and also in person related.
mm,
It's a massive hurdle that people can't go out and meet other people
yeah, for
or
sure.
that kind of thing, or even be too close to people at the moment. But the other hurdle is, yeah, there's a lot you need to break through on social media or to get people's attention
Mm,
about like, hey, this is what I do, blah blah blah. You really need to do a lot of work there, and yeah, they just creating some sort of marketing plan and that kind of thing to break through and get people's attention, listen to you,
mm,
and that kind of thing. I think it's right now it's a lot harder to do a startup if you can't go and show people your product in person and that kind of thing
yeah,
with
for
the
sure.
lockdowns. So I can't wait for the lockdowns to be gone, and well, the levels pretty much, and for me to get out in person a bit more and go show people the things that Bumper can do, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
Mm.
think, obviously in the short term, the lockdowns have been a pain in the butt for you, but do you
Yeah.
think long term, like it's gotten people so in a habitual way scanning QR codes and using their phone like that, even
Yeah.
generations much older than ours. I feel like for you and your business, it's got to pay off. Obviously, once everything's open and thriving, so people are going to be so much more willing to like scan QR codes or use things of that nature.
Yeah. I mean, like QR codes have been around for like a couple of decades, if I'm right, and it's
Yeah, I'm
taken
not
a
even sure to be
pandemic
honest.
for people to use them.
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
yeah, and like with NFC, the technology is mainly used in like PayWave and that kind of thing with your
Right.
phone.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing people know it for. And like, yeah, I'm hoping that eventually more and more people will start adopting it when they, yeah, like say it goes to QR codes and it goes to new technology, and yeah, people will be willing to use that more and more. Definitely.
Cool. So going back around to what you were saying about just getting people's attention being challenging, do you notice any sort of pattern across your different social media platforms, or let's say on Instagram, your stories compared to your posts? Like, is there consistency? Because I've kind of found in my experiences and just talking with other people, oftentimes it's super hit or miss what content can land. I mean, you can find little sort of things that work really well, but oftentimes you just got to pump the best content you can, hope for the best. But do you notice any sort of rhythm or consistent trend across any of the platforms or things you do?
There's definitely, I know the content that sticks out and gets way more engagement is when it's a person in the content, a face, someone talking. And if you put out a video, and you probably notice this with your clients, you put out a video of your clients, they're going to comment, share that
Yeah.
post, like it, and then it's going to get obviously more traction than let's say I just put up a screenshot
Mm.
showing how to use the product. That's, it looks, when it's computer generated, images and branding like that, people don't really yeah, aren't really interested. But when it's a person, I think that's the whole point of social media. It's social,
Mm.
so people want to see more of people, and I think
Right.
that also crosses over into advertising. That's why you see a lot of e-commerce advertising. It's really just people picking up their phone now. It's not big fancy productions. It's the ads that do really well is just someone showing a product on
Mm.
their phone. Yeah. So I think, yeah, definitely things that stick out is having people in your content.
Do you think that's because it comes across as more interactive?
I think it's more real. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Mm.
there's people and this is their opinions, even if it's not even a real opinion. It's just
Mm.
the person saying something, and people tend to agree with them and believe those things, so they do better than just words on on a screen.
Like a screenshot or
Yeah, like you could have a nice colored background and a nice font with some sort of title, but
mm.
you had someone saying that instead. That's going to obviously do better on
Yeah.
social media. Yeah, so yeah, it's a hard thing. Social media really, like, it is real hit or miss, but yeah, I find that if it's got people in it, it does a lot better than everything else.
Mm.
Mm.
For sure. Awesome. So, just the last question I've got for you today: is Bumper the be all end all for you, or do you have all your eggs in this one basket, or do you have other projects on the cards? And just to summarize that, what is your personal end game?
Yeah, so I like to do quite a few things at once. I probably string myself out a little bit too thin, but uh, this is something I'm working on, and then I'm also about to work on another project in sort of gaming music sort of sector.
Yeah.
I can't say much more about that yet, but that's early days. And I mean, I've always got things that come to mind, and I want to pursue. It's just finding the time, the money,
Mm.
and also finding if there's people around that that are interested in doing that as well. There's something I heard a while ago, and it was, if you've got this idea nagging in your brain and it's been months and months and months and it hasn't gone away, then you should pursue it. So I've
Mm.
always got those. And I was like, I've got to do something about this. Otherwise, how would I know if it's going to work or not unless I give it a try? So, yeah, always got stuff on the go. This is just flavor of the month at the moment with my most attention.
Yeah, for sure. Are you
Yeah.
a more like, do you do like with what your personal end game would be? Are you doing the projects out of, I guess, love of the game, or are you doing it to be in a position of freedom down the road, or what's your, I guess, why or meaning behind, for example, quitting your job and starting a business like completely on your own accord?
Yeah, like I love my job at the time. And I quit it. It's more, yeah, just to have freedom,
Mm.
but freedom of choice, what to do with your day. And yeah, I guess the end game is just to be fulfilled with what you do.
Mm.
I really like creating things for people.
Right.
So the more and more I can, create something, and then try and create something else, and that
Mm.
and that. So That's my end game is probably just to keep going, creating and be fulfilled,
Yeah,
doing that. Hopefully, have the freedom, the money, and the time to
yeah,
do it
for
as
sure.
well. Yeah, yeah. Mm.
Awesome. So it's really like the two themes I took away from that is freedom and also progression. Because you said you loved your job, right? But
Yeah,
you said you weren't necessarily fulfilled. And is that because there just wasn't heaps of progression in it, or you
yeah.
weren't using your
Things were
creative brain?
going developing too slow for me.
Mm.
Yeah, and there was not much more progression I could see over the short term. So yeah, it's when you get to a point like if you're like a builder and you like building houses from scratch, you don't like
Mm.
to do renovations.
Yeah,
You
for
know what I mean?
sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes
yeah.
so much
So
sense.
yeah, so I like to build things, get them going for a while, and then someone else can take over and we'll start something else. But if something really sticks and something's really enjoyable, then yeah, I'll stick it out for years and years. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, lastly, I've just got a few quick fire questions to go over with you. So, the first one is what would be your last meal if you were on death row?
Yeah, I think it's pizza. Not anything in particular.
Yeah,
Maybe not one of the cheap ones from the supermarket, but like
yeah,
just a decent pizza.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice. What is your favorite social media platform and why?
Um, I'm enjoying Facebook groups at the moment, like just business related stuff and
Mm,
business owners asking a lot of questions. It's great. But I think LinkedIn at the moment is my favorite. I think it's kind of underrated. There's a lot going on there, but it's obviously a certain demographic,
mm,
business owners and people in sales and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I would say LinkedIn probably at the moment. Yeah.
cool. In your opinion, who is the greatest athlete of all time?
Um, I think Michael Jordan,
Mm,
team sports, like how he can win so many titles over all those years of different people. So
yeah,
like, and it's a different thing if it's an individual, but to be an individual in a team and still be that great, yeah,
mm,
yeah.
awesome. Your biggest inspiration in business?
Um, I really like Gary V.
Mm,
Vaynerchuk.
yeah,
He puts out some great content. I'm a bit of a fan of Richard Branson and his books, though,
yeah.
especially the first one about how he got started and all that. But yeah, Gary Vee's pretty cool.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um, your favorite creative figure that you respect?
Um, Creative. I really like movies,
Yeah.
and so I'm a big fan of what Zack Snyder has done
Mm,
with like the DC films. So yeah, I think like as a director, Zack Snyder is pretty cool. Yeah.
cool. Do you have a favorite movie?
Yeah, it's in that realm.
Oh yeah.
um, the Dark Knight.
Oh yeah, bro. I'm the same. Man. I love like
Yeah,
Batman. Even
yeah. Same. I love Batman.
I
Yeah,
watched a little like YouTube special thing on the whole trilogy and how that came about. And yeah,
yeah,
I reckon Christopher Nolan and like even Christian Bale as a Batman is the goat. But that's
yeah.
me.
No, it's like a perfect movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lastly, one piece of advice you would give your 10-year-old self.
Oh, 10-year-old Sal. Shit. Probably would have been not to go to university.
Yeah. Did you go to university?
Yeah, I studied accounting,
Yeah. Did you
so
finish a degree?
not quite. I'm a few papers short, but I didn't want to pursue it, so I didn't finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought, yeah, there's a lot going on now. There's a big should you go to uni and that, but
Mm.
debate on the internet. But I really think that you don't need to go now at all. Like with the opportunities the internet can give you
Yeah.
to educate yourself, start something yourself, even maybe have a job and start something while for like 3 or 4 years you're at uni
Mm.
instead. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that would have been it.
Yeah. I think like anything, and going back, you mentioned Gary Vee. He touches on it a lot, but it's more of
Mm,
a self-awareness thing. It's not a should I go or shouldn't I go, or everyone should go, everyone shouldn't go. It's a
yeah,
self-awareness thing. Like if you want to start your own business, um, probably not the best option. You should probably save up and start having a stab at it. But if you want to be a doctor or one of the best surgeons in the world,
Yeah,
or you want to
definitely.
be a great lawyer, then you probably need to go. I think these blanket statements really confuse people.
It's
Um,
quite because you're asking a 17-year-old what they should do for the rest of their life.
Bro, it's
and
crazy to me, eh? Like I really,
and yeah,
I
it's
can't.
crazy.
When I get older, I just hope I do a better job of that with my kids anyway. Because I just
Yeah,
feel like you said it there, like these kids are 17. We've all been through it now,
yeah.
and it's just like you expect to have everything figured out, and then you get 10 years down the track, and you don't have everything figured out still, and it's
Or
just like,
your interests have changed, or you're actually better at something else than you were than what you thought you were better at uni, or
yeah.
high school. Yeah, so it's a crazy thing to ask a 17-year-old to pick one thing and this is what you're gonna do for the rest of your life. Like
Mm.
it's bonkers.
That's why I think it's cool because you obviously dropped out or not dropped out. You just put it
You
on
finish.
hold,
Yeah,
and it must have been your last year or two.
yeah,
Yeah, so you put it on hold in your last year or two. Like you've worked in another job, you had a stab at a business, you ended up establishing another business, and you've got other ideas. So you're not afraid to have a stab at a few different things or try something and then realize, okay, I don't like this as much as I should, or like I thought I did, and now I'm going to try something else, and that's okay. It's not a crime.
yeah,
Um,
definitely. Yeah.
so that's really awesome to see. But yeah, well, that was an awesome chat, bro.
So
Lastly, I'll just let you plug any platforms or anything you want to plug and mention anyone you'd like to.
yeah, sweet. So our website for Bumper is bumper.social. That's BUMPR. So there's no E in that. And that's the same for our Instagram. And if you search Bumper Social on Facebook, you find us as well. But yeah, if you're a business owner or in sales or real estate, that kind of thing, check us out. I think it would be really handy.
Cool, awesome. Well, thank
Awesome.
you very much for your time today, bro. I really appreciate it. That was actually a really awesome chat. And I'll be really keen to get you back on maybe in 6 months after the lockdowns have opened up and see how everything's
Hopefully.
grown and grown up. Yeah, hopefully. Otherwise, we might just have to do this sort of stuff until then. But no, I think
Yeah.
I'd be really keen to get you back on then and see how everything's progressed for you. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, thank you very much, bro. I appreciate it.
No worries, dude.
Right, later, mate.
So, yeah.